Hi everybody, great to have you with me here today. I'm Kristen from the Dahlia Society. If you're new to my channel, I have got the easiest dress I think that I've ever made here today to show you. I want to tell you all about it. It's from Pattern Union, a fantastic Aussie pattern company. It's really hot here in Melbourne. Today is 36 degrees and straight away my hair goes up. I need something cool to wear. We're lucky to have air conditioning inside the house, but it really does start heating up after a day or two of hot weather. So we are head on into the really boiling hot weather, and I want a cool, easy dress to wear. You may remember my fabric haul I did last month before, it was November. I bought some jersey fabric that was intended for a t-shirt. It wasn't really what I was after for the t-shirt, but I decided to keep it aside, and I knew I had to find the right type of maxi dress for this one. I'd seen this dress on Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles quite some months ago, and I remembered and had it in my stash of patterns because I knew for summer it would be the ideal dress for us here in this warm weather. The Sumekko dress is so easy. It took me literally half an hour to sew up. That was from the time I finished cutting to the time I did the hem. It was so simple because it really just has one seam. That's it, one seam up the back. It gives you added shape as well, which is another bonus because normally something that's that easy to make isn't always going to give you the best shape. There are three different versions you can do. You can either do the ones with the darts in the front and back, or the single darts, or not. I've opted for the one with no darts at all, and it really doesn't need darts to give you that beautiful shape. I wanted a quick and easy thing to sew up because I knew I was going to have some warm days coming up and I didn't really have any singlet style dresses to wear. So I grabbed this ITY jersey out of my stash, had a look at the pattern, and I was very lucky that I'd had it printed on A0 format, so it was already done for me, and basically cut the fabric on one piece of fabric on a fold. You cut it all out. I'll pop a little bit of tutorial in there so you can see what I'm talking about. So you're cutting the fabric on the fold. It has your armholes cut out, and you'll see that the back center seam is basically, that is the one seam to do. So other than doing your binding for your neck and your armholes, that is the only seam you will sew, and it is like magic. It gives you this beautiful flattering silhouette shape. I went for the size 16 because I thought I would prefer it to be a little bit more ease around the middle than to be too clingy, especially with this ITY jersey. Sometimes it can be very unforgiving, this type of fabric, and I didn't really want to be wearing shapewear and things like that. I wanted to be like really comfortable at home, and it's perfect for my size. I absolutely love it. In fact, I love it so much, I actually decided to sew another one up with some beautiful Liberty jersey that I had in my stash as well. This time I went for the just below knee length, and that is really lovely and cool. It's very, very light, very stretchy jersey. So nice and simple and cool. If you're after a really easy tank style dress, I think you'll be really thrilled with it. And I've done Pattern Union patterns before. Of course, Sarah is from Western Australia. She does run a little sewing school over there, and she does have some fantastic patterns. I did a recent collab with Karina that we decided to both do the Cora blouse and Phoebe skirt, and we really love her patterns. They're just very simple and very well drafted, and always a little bit differently done. You'll find that the armhole binding and neck binding is done a little bit different. You do that binding before you sew the top of your shoulders together. It's very, very simple, very beginner friendly, and I think you could do this in so many different varieties of jerseys, weights of jerseys, as long as you've got that little bit of stretch there. The four-way stretch is really needed. So I think she does mention in her tutorial that it's perfect for a placement print. So if you have a really beautiful jersey fabric with a big placement print in the middle, so you can position it exactly where you want to cut it to get the maximum benefit of placing that pattern print piece where you want it. This was under 2 meters. I had 1.7 meters, and it was perfect amount of fabric. So really a great way, a sustainable way of sewing something up without using a lot of fabric. And this fabric was actually 1.25 meters, so it was even better. And the only thing you need to worry about is having your 1.5 meter width fabric. So a nice wide piece of jersey will get you a beautiful dress out of that. But I think you could really get creative. There's no reason why you couldn't make a belt or even little ties on the shoulder. If you want to go something a bit different and a bit more added features, you could really play around with something a bit more unique. But I prefer just a nice simple tank dress for a really hot day. For the ultra comfortable dress, you can't go past the Sumekko. I think you'll really love it on. And if you're interested, I will link Karina's episode below so you can go and have a look at the ones she made. I know she actually made 2 up as well because she loved it so much. Sometimes, you know, you can go through all the technical aspects of making a really perfectly fitted dress with all the different darts and features. But when you find a dress that's that simple, that gives you such a lovely shape, it really is just such a bonus to have in your pattern collection. And when you've got a beautiful fabric, you may not want to buy a lot of it if it's a bit on the more expensive side, like the Liberty jerseys are not cheap. So when I buy them, I usually tend to buy a small cut and think I'll do something really special with it. But I wanted to make sure that I used up every ounce of that fabric and didn't waste any of it, so I could sort of cater the length of it. With the stripe version, I did the maxi floor length version, and you'll see there is a piece that you need to cut out separately from the pattern and add that onto the bottom of your pattern piece just to get that nice maximum length. And it is quite long. It actually hit my foot, which is, I'm a 5'6.5", so it's quite a long maxi dress. And sometimes an ITY jersey can sort of really drape quite heavily, and you will find it might grow a little bit. So I actually had to end up cutting a little bit off the lengths because I didn't want to be tripping over it for being at home. But I'm sure you can do things like add a back split, which would be really easy hack to do. But yeah, I really love the Sumekko dress. It's definitely one I want to make more of. And yeah, it's just comfortable. I think even a bamboo jersey would be so cool and comfortable. A plain black one of these is the perfect thing to have in the wardrobe as well if you want to put things like bright accessories with it. And I think when you're starting to dabble around with different weights of jerseys, if you had a plain black and maybe a thicker style jersey, the darts would add a beautiful shape as well. So you can really bring it in quite a bit more with that shaping. But I find for me personally that one back seam just did it all for me. So it's kind of like a little bit of a magic dress when you sew it up and you see it all coming together. The only thing I didn't put into much consideration was stripes. When I was sewing the back up, I had to make sure that the stripes lined up perfectly. The top of the dress could be a tad out, but Look, I'm not a perfectionist. I like to try and get things looking as good as possible, but I'm not one for really pattern placement unless I'm putting a lot of work into something that I know is for a really special occasion. But sometimes I just wing it and things tend to really work out in my favor, which is, I'm really lucky like that. But things like an all-over print that's very abstract, you don't really need to worry about pattern placement quite as much. I think it looks wonderful, and you can see that shaping in that back seam there as well. But head on over to Sarah's website, Pattern Union. I think you will love the amount of different patterns that she's got there. Some great new culotte style pants and another blazer out that was just recently released as well. And yeah, I really love her tutorials on YouTube. She does do a lot of different sewing techniques that are quite different and challenging, and you can really learn a lot from her little tutorials there. So thank you for watching today. Just wanted to let you know this great little dress, fantastic easy pattern. I think it's really nice to give yourself a little bit of a break from the ultra challenging techniques. If you're wanting something that you don't have to think about too much, that you can whip up really quickly with some fabric you have in your stash, it just makes you feel great to be able to sort of sew a couple of things up in one night, that you've got things there. And personally for me, we were going away on a little holiday next week and I wanted some things I could take to the beach and really comfortable things to wear to make you feel good. Yeah, but that you've got the comfort and coolness there of a tank dress. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, why not think about clicking that little subscribe button and notification bell, and you will be alerted to any new episodes that are uploaded. I'm trying to get things out at least twice a week for you guys to keep you all motivated and inspired. Thanks for watching today. I'll catch up with you next time. Keep safe. Bye for now.